In the retreat, we are going to work with the 7 codes of the Andes. I've been sharing that for a while, but not everybody is really familiar with these codes, and we don't know what can they do for us. So I want to give you an introduction of what are they and what is the powers that we can incorporate using them, practicing them. The Kausai code, that's the number 1, is the basic one that begins to change our mind from a logical mind into a magical mind. Because shamanism is about magic, but magic in the cosmology of the Andes, of in the Kausai Pacha school of initiation, is more about deeper understanding of reality. So we are not conscious about our true potential. We are living at a 10% of our capabilities. And Kausai Pacha school, or any initiation school, is there to make us grow in that consciousness. So Kausai would be to identify ourselves with our spiritual nature instead of our physical or mental nature or emotional nature. And everything is created from the source, and the source is a spirit. So if we don't begin to assume the source in us, we cannot develop any potential, any capability. So Kausai is to assume your spiritual identity. With that, you can no longer play the role of the victim, the role of the bully, or the role of the savior, because you realize that everything and everyone is a manifestation of a spirit. So you will be able to interact with everyone and everybody in equal terms, because we are all representing the source. So that is a big power. Then we have the second code, and that is the code Anya. And Anya is what gives value to our individuality. So the source is becoming manifested to you as an individual, and you as an individual have a huge trajectory that is shaping the way you observe, the way you perceive your world, the world around you. And only you see it like that. Only you feel the way you feel. Only you think the way you think. And only you can do the things that you do. Nobody does it exactly like you. So that is the code that allows us to respect and to give faith and value to our own perceptions, but at the same time to realize that everybody has their own. So we can also respect everybody else, because we are only a part of the absolute truth. And in the interaction of these individualities is that we create the dynamic synergy to enrich everyone with wisdom, with knowledge, with technology, with everything we need to live here together. So that saves 70% of our conflicts in relationships. And then we have the code Yankai. And Yankai means work. These are Quechua words. Yankai means work. To do the work, to be proactive, to not be sitting waiting for something to happen so that gives you the authorization to do what you want or to become who you want to be. And then is when we start assuming the magical mind, because the work we do, we already do normal work, but we don't do rituals in our everyday life. That has been taken away from our reality since 2000 years ago. So now we're going to take it back, but with a higher level of understanding of what does it mean. What does it mean to do a ritual? Many people see that as superstition, but actually is managing energy. And we know now, quantum physics is starting to see that, how the observer changes the result when energy is active. So we define how things are going to be through our own perceptions, through our own understanding, through our own emotions that are filtering the information so that that is what we are experiencing as a reality. So in a ritual, what we do is to, before we take a logical action, we set the energy in the right direction so that we walk through that path instead of going through a really hard way in the jungle. We open up a highway. That's a ritual 4. We know how we're going to get there. We know we are going to get there, and we can just relax and enjoy the ride. That's what a ritual is. So in that process of having faith in your power to create, having faith in your individual way to manifest yourself in this world, and to put value in your actions and your intentions and your emotions and in what you want as a result, is that we create personal power, because we have more and more credibility in order to be certain that we can manifest new things in our life. And that brings us to the new code, the code Munai. And Munai is love, is power, and is also desire, because that is the motor that creates universes. So when you assume that you are this powerful being that can manifest things, then you are also have you can go through difficulties because you know that you can solve them. You can be perseverant because you have total trust in your outcome. And the more you trust, the more you grow, the more you realize your outcomes, the more power you have. And that makes you at full in your potential. So what is the next step when you are in that dynamic? Is you are cultivating, or you are harvesting wisdom. That is a higher level of knowledge. Wisdom is a deep understanding of processes, and to be able to synthesize them, or to make them quicker, that you don't have to spend 2 years in order to solve a problem or to change an emotion, that you can do it instantly. So that becomes to appear very magical, and it's totally doable. And when you have that you have absolutely no more fear of shortage, of not having enough, of not knowing enough, and everything else, because at the same time, it's not only you and your knowledge and your experience, but it's also the enrichment with the interaction with other people, with elements from nature, with the spiritual beings, and everybody and everything becomes alive in your universe. So the way you grow in knowledge and wisdom is a high speed, if you practice, of course. And that gives you the code Aini. And Aini means reciprocity, because we are in this interaction and everybody is winning with our interaction. So wherever you see value. Even in the bad experiences, you see value to learn from them. Even in difficult situations, you see how you become more intelligent, more resilient, more stronger in every sense. So then you no longer have any problems to take life as it comes. You are not afraid, and you are strong from inside. You no longer have to fight the outside world. You can solve it with your presence. And that brings you to the next level, and that is the code Kausai Pacha, which is time and space, is our universe in the whole of it. In every dimension, And we are an expression of that in a holographic version. So that means that you're not longer this individual. You assume your multidimensionality, your spiritual being, your mental being, your physical being, your emotional being, and also different dimensions and different times where you've been alive on this earth, past lives, future lives. Past and future, everything is happening right now. Multiverses, parallel universe. Think whatever you want to think. There is no limit there. So that is our potential in the future. But we are not in everywhere. We are everywhere, but we are here right now. And the most important thing is, how do we, knowing that we are all that, capable of all that, how can we become this person right now in this world? Because when we think we are an accident, our potential is very limited. But when we think that we are a chosen project to develop consciousness at every level, then your potential can be a lot more stimulated to grow and experience more of that. So that is what we learn in the Cosmology and the Andes, and we have a beautiful retreat coming up the 27th of for 3 days until the Sunday 1st March. And then we will have more days, a pilgrimage on the 3rd of March and possibility of personal consults with Nicolás himself on the 2nd of March, and an open activity on the 4th of March. So there is a lot of information in the website below. So if you are interested and you are curious to know more about it, and you want to know about possibilities to take courses or to go on trips to Peru to experience in an immersion this beautiful culture, then please take contact with me and I'll keep in touch. This is Marcela Stete, and I'm representative of the school Kausai Pacha Netherlands in the Netherlands, and I give also courses in Spanish, in English, and in Dutch, of course. So nice to meet you. I hope to meet you soon. Bye bye.